Just how extreme are these hacks? What sort of information do we understand that they've managed to gather?
So we're still learning about what they're gathering, and it's a hard question to answer in a lot of cases. The thing we know they've taken in at least some instances are sign-in credentials, usernames, passwords, other information that's used to secure systems. And that's particularly concerning because it means the hackers can potentially branch out from what the one system they got into here.
Jake, when Bloomberg broke the story last night about this particular agency being hacked that is responsible for the development and disposal of nuclear weapons, understandably, loads of Americans on social media were like, what on earth, are we in trouble? Do we know the limits of what the hackers were able to gather? What is the agency's response? I think it's a time where we just here's the reality of the situation.
So what our reporting shows so far is that there wasn't sensitive or classified information taken from this nuclear agency, and that the classified information within it and most other government agencies is sort of sectioned off from the type of system that was easily breached in this attack. However, as I just mentioned, one of the concerns here is that once the hackers get in, they may be able to branch out and burrow in elsewhere.
Now, what's interesting is the number of agencies and companies and entities has been identified by a Dutch cyber company at the moment, this one being iSecurity. They're saying it's largely US-based, but actually very international. What has Microsoft been identifying? They've, of course, told us who potentially the hackers are, but how are they keeping us abreast of this?
So Microsoft has told us that at least 2 Chinese state-backed hacking groups are behind some of these attacks, and that there's another group based in China that is carrying out attacks too. What we know is that the servers that were made vulnerable by this attack for the common Microsoft software SharePoint are spread out all over the globe, and that the number that were potentially vulnerable is in the thousands, not the hundreds. So the scope of this is really something that's still coming into view, and Microsoft up to now has not told us how many of their customers have experienced breaches.
Jake, many Microsoft customers watch this program, many Microsoft employees watch this program. What has Microsoft told us in terms of their response and how they're handling it?
So Microsoft moved quite quickly to roll out patches to this vulnerability. Once they became aware of it, they rolled out a patch over the weekend and more during the week to sort of try to close this door and keep it shut. But what we've heard from other security researchers is that once the hackers are in, you're still potentially vulnerable. Closing the door once they're in the house doesn't solve your problems. And that really requires sort of continuing to search and understand, did we get hit?